Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is Nate Meadows with Digital Radar. I'm our Chief Branding Officer, and I'm really excited to have you all on the line today as we discuss business development in the digital age. So, a little context first and foremost as to who Digital Radar is. Simply put, we're redefining what it means to be a digital marketing agency, and we grow your business using marketing data. If that sounds interesting to you, we would love to have a conversation. Now, a couple things to note today. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the event, so please submit any questions via the chat box in your lower right-hand side. Also, please remember to keep your phones muted to not disrupt the rest of the webinar. I'm really excited to introduce Danielle Petty, our Head of Client Relations, and also Steve Neigut, who is also our SEM guru. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Danielle to kick off today's webinar. Thanks, Danielle.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. So today I'm going to start by going over the agenda. We're going to be taking a look into how technology is changing the customer journey. So we're going to look at businesses need to be online, what's the right time to get online, how Google as a tool can help grow your business, and why working with us at Digital Radar is the next best move you can make for your company. So getting right into it, why online? In today's day and age, we no longer go online, it's where we live. So day in, day out, we're constantly connected. I'm sure most of you guys can relate to this gentleman. You know, the first thing that we do in the morning, we pick up our phones, check our emails, respond to text messages. We're immediately connected and online. So therefore, as a business, it's extremely crucial that strong online presence.
Yeah, if your website does not remain optimized and up to date, you're missing out on opportunities to grow and scale. Here are some reasons why that's true. Your customers are expecting to be able to find you online. Statistics show that users are less likely to trust a business if they cannot be found when searching online. From reviews and social content on channels, you can give value to your brand. Studies have shown that customers are more likely to purchase a product if it has been recommended to them by a friend or family member. Not to mention 90% of consumers claim that online reviews influence their buying decision. In addition, having strong online presence, you have a platform where you're able to display your products and services. In today's age, customers want to be able to find you with ease. You can also answer frequently asked questions, provide photos, descriptions, you can do videos. There's a lot of ways to gain new business online. But having a website and an overall online presence, you can reach thousands of customers this way. Instead of printing flyers or brochures and the cost of mailing hundreds of them every few weeks, you can invest in your online storefront. Regardless of the time of day, you can always be making sales and growing your company. Through contact forms or e-commerce sites, you never have to turn your business away. You are able to gain new customers pretty much around the clock. So last but not least, your competitors are doing it. This in itself is enough of a reason why you should. 81% of consumers perform online research before making a purchase. Your company needs to be found. That means they can go to Google and type in one or more keywords like best electrician near me, or if they know exactly what they want, landscaping electrician in Phoenix, Arizona, for example. And if you aren't available to be found, your competition will be.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is discussing micro moments. So what is a micro moment? Google refers to these moments as intent-rich moments to capture an audience. So what makes this important is that we want to be able to capitalize on opportunities to reach new clients. From gaining awareness of our cause or company, or getting our message in front of the intended audience is really the key here. So it's important that we're able to pay attention to the different opportunities to gain this new business. So what exactly do we mean by micro moments? The different micro moments we're looking at here is I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, and I want to buy. So all of these are different opportunities when consumers turn to their mobile devices or online in general to engage with our content. So the I want to know moments. These are the moments when someone is researching online. They're not necessarily ready to make a purchase at that exact moment, but they're doing their homework and they're getting ready to determine what they need and who can do it for them. The I want to go moments. These are the moments when someone's looking for a nearby store, whether they're wanting to purchase a product locally. In that moment, they're looking for the best shop near me or looking to find something specific. In that moment, they're ready to get up and they're ready to go. The I want to do moments. So these are the moments when someone's looking for help with the project or task. So a good example here is, a how-to video. In that moment, they're willing and ready to connect with a new company or brand. And lastly, we've got the I want to buy moments. These are the moments that we especially want to be present during. This is when someone is ready to make a purchase and they're turning to the internet and they want help deciding who to buy it from and what exactly to buy. So all of these micro moments represent different opportunities for business owners to get in front of potential new customers. So that leads us to why now is the right time to get your company ahead and be represented online. In order to meet consumer demands, we need to focus on things. We've got immediacy of action, which is that consumers are acting on stimulus whenever they're motivated to. So when a desire arises, whether that be to purchase a new pair of sunglasses or find somewhere to eat for lunch, they're acting on these needs and they're turning to the internet for direction here. Not to mention, they have extremely high expectations. Consumers are expecting to have an experience that provides them with relevancy. They want to be able to find what they need right when they're looking for it. So, we really want to capitalize on the fact here that they want those frictionless experiences, meaning they want to get what they want without any of the workaround. And today consumers have unscripted decisions. Brand loyalty has become a thing of the past. Consumers are more loyal to what meets their needs in that moment rather than a product that they're most common with. So with that being said, being found online is one part of the puzzle, but in addition to having your company well established online platforms, you really need to have a strong presence and be able to meet these high demands of the consumers. Also, every year there are trillions of Google searches made on, and more than half of those are coming from mobile phones. Consumers want to be able to pick up their phones and find what they need when they need it. That's just one of the reasons why being relevant, being online really needs to be top priority for business owners. For example, look, we've got Sarah here. So Sarah got a raise at work. She's decided she's ready to upgrade and renovate a bathroom in her home. And she knows she wants to start this process by installing a new bathtub. So what she do, she turns to her mobile device, she picks it up, and she might make a search something like plumbers near me. So in this moment, she's inspired and motivated to complete her remodel, and she's looking for answers. This is an opportunity as a business owner where you can be seen and gain a new customer.
So there are 3 key things to keep in mind here. Be there, be useful, and be quick. Being there is the first part. In order to even be an option to these potential customers searching for your services, you need to be present. Many consumers are not stuck on working with a certain brand. Statistics show us that 51% of smartphone users have discovered a new company or product when conducting a search. And this is likely who they are going to consider going with. By being there, you're able to get a shot at your competitors, customers. Pretty much 1 out of 3 have purchased from a company other than who they originally were looking for because of information that was provided in the moment they needed it. So being there also drives brand awareness. Showing up on search results can increase brand awareness by 46%. Next, we have be useful. When a user finds your business online, the content that they see needs to be useful to them in the time of need. Without utility in the moment, not only will consumers move on, but they'll actually probably never come back to your site. 73% of consumers say that regularly getting useful information from an advertiser is the most important thing when selecting a brand. In addition, 51% of users bought from a brand other than the one they intended on because the information provided was useful. This is a great way to get in front of your audience who may have originally been looking for your competition. But because you provided them with some useful information, they're more inclined to go with you. 61% of users say they're more likely to buy from companies who customize mobile information to their location. So this is really huge. I know for myself, I'm always looking for coffee near me or closest tattoo shop. Users want the information to be useful and customize it by location in one or another way to do this. So lastly, we have be quick. If speed thrills, then friction kills. Providing consumers with what they want when they want it is crucial. Studies have shown that 40% of customers who completely abandon a site if it takes over 3 seconds to load. 29% of users will immediately switch to another site or app if it's too clumsy or too slow. I know for myself personally, if an app or web page isn't loading, my first thing to do is close it. Sometimes I'll restart, but pretty much most of the time I will leave and never return. 1 in 5 dissatisfied visitors will never return to a website where problems have occurred. Without an optimized, high-functioning online presence and marketing strategy, you're going to miss out on potentially tons of clients.
Absolutely. So, going over the micro moments checkpoints here, we've got, be there. We really want to make sure that we're identifying those moments, making sure that your content is understood. We want to be useful. We want to be able to tap into your audience, different passions, have those snackable educational pieces of content to really reach the right audience, using different location settings, location signals to remain relevant, providing different video content, and really being able to provide that across all channels and devices is really big there. And be quick, eliminate any extra steps, anticipate what the customer is going to need next, whether that's frequently asked questions, and most importantly, load like lightning. Like Steve mentioned, consumers, they don't want to wait. So we want to make sure that we're able to provide them exactly what they need when they need it. So why Google? And that one's pretty simple. Across all of the different Google platforms, there's over 1 billion users on each, whether that's Gmail, YouTube, Google Places or Maps, Android, the Google Play Center, Google Chrome. There are users on each of these, and they're looking for products and services. So on Google Adwords, there's numerous of ways to reach your intended audience, one of which is click-to-message ads. So this is relatively a new function. Many advertisers aren't currently using it. So, okay, what is it? Consumers will interact with your business on their terms. Click-to-message gives your ads a new tool so that your business doesn't have to miss a single opportunity to engage, interact with these new clients. And it's most important because micro moments have changed the customer journey. This extension provides that seamless way to reach your audience, which is exactly what consumers today are looking for. So looking at a few different reasons why click-to-message ads have been so successful this far for businesses, first of all, being 90% of all text messages are opened within 3 minutes. And I can honestly say for myself, I don't know if it's even 3 minutes before I open a text message. 90% of millennials actually prefer to engage with a company because it's fast, it's simple, it's easy to use, really cutting down on that friction there. 65% of consumers would much rather send a text message to schedule a service rather than have to pick up the phone, make a phone call, or schedule with somebody in person. So here's an example of what the click-to-message ads would look like. So, the user is going to go ahead and type in a search, Westin Times Square. In that moment, they're looking to make a reservation. So they're then going to tap on the message extension, which is going to launch the text message with a preloaded message that you would create there. Once that message is sent from the customer, the business will then be, informed of that there's a new user looking to engage. And from there, you're able to kind of take off and get to have that schedule that appointment with that client all over the text message. So what's next and what does this look like? If you're a large business, you are going to want to have an agent, somebody who's going to be routing the text messages and making sure that they're responded to as quick as possible. Small businesses, this is going to be, having somebody's mobile phone and somebody that's able to answer these texts directly and get in front of those new clients that way. So next we have the YouTube platform. This is personally one of my favorite platforms. This is the world's second largest search engine next to Google search. In my opinion, there are so many ways to get in front of clients. I know myself, I'm much more likely to watch a video than I am to read text and content from somebody. So, right here it says in the YouTube reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds than any broadcast cable TV network, and that's just on mobile phones. That's not including on your search engine or on your desktop. That's just going to be on mobile. So with different banner overlays and features that can direct people directly to your site, YouTube's a great platform to utilize to get in front of your intended audience. The biggest holdup I hear about YouTube and why businesses aren't currently doing it is that they don't have a video. So Google released YouTube Director. This is a free video creation app that allows you to create high quality videos for your company. So if you haven't already used YouTube Director, I highly recommend that you download it, get some experience with it. If you're having trouble, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to answer some questions for you guys on it. But what I love about it is there's different templates that you can kind of navigate your way through, and it really helps you produce those polished videos without having to spend all of the money on getting on a videographer to create these videos for you. So you don't need to have any video editing experience. I myself could not edit a video to save my life. But the YouTube Director app, I've played around with it and I've been able to create some really cool things on it. So creating that video and then having the opportunity to market it across the YouTube platform is great. Those are just a few of the features that I really love about the AdWords platform and how it can help you to grow.
Great, thanks Danielle and Steve. Really interesting, content for sure. And we want to take just a few minutes before we jump into our few seconds, I should say, to do a little shameless self-promotion and talk a little bit about who Digital Radar is. So with the next slide, I want to just quickly highlight a little bit about Digital Radar. We've been around for a few years, and within that few years, we have exploded in growth. We're taking on clients of multiple sizes, including Fortune 100s, and we really bring to Digital Radar and things that we have accomplished at Digital Radar, really a deep level of skill sets and experiences that really cannot be matched. And we're really proud of some of the results, as you can see on the screen. They speak for themselves. On the next slide, I want to just quickly show you just a few facets of some of our core competencies at Digital Radar. One of the things that we didn't come up with this, our clients have repeatedly told us that we are professional mind blowers. We blow minds for a living, both in our results and our creative and our approach to digital marketing and so on. And we've taken that and we really have embodied that, and we try to bring that to life every single day at Digital Radar. A couple things that really set us apart. One is our core values, really just transparency, our integrity, and really our commitment to data and quantifying everything. We really believe wholeheartedly that what our clients know and what we know, when we come together as one, as a strong partner, that's really the sweet spot where value and great things happen. We have experience across many different industries, as you can see below. And I want to just reinforce that with the depth and the breadth of experience that Digital Radar and our team bring to the table, no one can replicate our expertise. With that, we always love to ask the question to our prospects and our clients in any engagement, where do you want your marketing to go? And with that, our shameless self-promotion is over. And I want to just jump into the Q&A because we had quite a few questions that came in to private chat to myself. And I want to go ahead and kick some of that off right now. So the first question that came in, Steve, I'll give this one to you, is what is AdWords quality score and how do you go about achieving that?
Yes. So quality score is made up of a few things. It is your click-through rate, the relevance of your keyword to the ad group, landing page quality and relevance of your ad text, and also historical AdWords account performance. So all of those things go together and form this concoction, which is quality score. If we have a keyword, say, such as men's shoes, we're going to put that in an ad group. In that ad group, we're going to have an ad that states men's shoes, and then we're going to direct them to a landing page that mentions men's shoes. And that way we'll have seamless relevance all through, and we can guarantee higher quality scores. When we have those better quality scores, we can lower the CPCs. So it's really a win-win. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up there.
Great. And then Danielle, another one came in, and I'm going to give this one to you. And that's really all about how to get started on AdWords, what a budget might look like, and so on. What's that first step or second step? What's that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to answer that question, the first step's really going to be doing some different keyword research and getting a feel for, first of all, what is your specific, your intended customer, what are they currently searching for? So from there, once we find out what they're searching for, is finding out what are those keywords currently going for in this competitive market. And my suggestion is, as far as the best way to do that would be reach out to myself or to Steve or to Nate, get in contact with us by providing your URL. I can then actually do some keyword research and be able to find out, okay, based off your website, obviously these are the products you're offering. These are what these keywords are currently going for. This is who your intended audience you'd want to target is, and we can really get a feel for what an ideal budget there is. Obviously that's going to depend upon what you're offering, where you're offering it, and what your industry is. So I guess to answer that, and the best way to get started is by reaching out to us, letting us do some market research for you, and kind of point you in the right direction from there.
Fantastic. Thanks, Danielle. And then a couple other questions came in, and I want to just try to get to those real quick here. So one, really, this is a great question, and I think we could have a lot of conversation around this for the next several hours. And I'm pretty passionate about this one as well. But the question is, do you think a business can overcome a brand loyalty as a thing of the past in this day and age? Steve, Danielle, any collective thoughts here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll jump in there. As far as, overcoming a brand loyalty, and forgive me if I'm not understanding this correctly, but what I take that as is, let's say that I own a pizza shop, right? Maybe I'm a mom and pop shop, just opened up, and I want to get over that brand loyalty to Domino's or Papa John's or Pizza Hut. And how can I compare? How can I compete with that, right? Obviously, the Papa John's, Pizza Huts, they're going to have to support their marketing efforts. And that's actually one of my favorite things about Google AdWords, is the fact that the mom and pop shop does have a chance to compete with those bigger brands and overcoming that brand loyalty in that sense. As Steve had mentioned earlier, from properly managing the quality score and making sure that we're continuously driving down cost per acquisitions and cost per clicks, with effective campaign management. And if you're working with professionals who are setting up the campaign correctly, you're actually able to get to that top of the page just like your competitors are more often than not. Because AdWords is great because Google doesn't go based off of who can pay more. It's all about who can provide a more relevant experience to the user. So to answer that question, absolutely, we can overcome that brand loyalty, and that's just really going to come down to proper campaign management and knowing what you're doing as far as setting that up.
Absolutely, I would just Steve, and Danielle, I agree with your thoughts, Danielle. Steve, I'll get to you just in just a second. I want to interject and just say, personally, from a brand loyalty perspective, your brand is your currency, right? And the stronger the brand, the stronger that bankroll. And I think it's all about the experiences that a brand provides for, its audience. And I really believe that's what's going to build that brand currency, if you will. So the stronger the experience, the better. Whether that's on AdWords, your website, whatever that is, in store, through the checkout process, through mobile, through reading your blog, wherever we can create a highly relevant and engaging experience combined is where we're really going to move the needle forward. And to Danielle's point, I love the fact that a small business really has in terms of tools and things available, an equal playing field, so they can get on the AdWords platform just like a Fortune 100 company can. Granted, the budgets might be
Absolutely.
a little bit different, but again, I think just kind of going back to relevancy is super important. Steve, any additional thoughts there?
I mean, you guys pretty much covered it all, but just to add on that last little piece, every time a keyword is searched, an auction does open up. So that allows us to capitalize on potentially thousands, maybe tens of thousands of different potential impression share on search every day. So as long as our ad copy is engaging and we can get in those first couple spots, we can get you in front of potential leads. So brand loyalty is nice. I mean, I do see those power players on search, when you have Nike in the first position, and they have like an infograph, and then they're also in organic. I mean, they're more likely to be considered. So we have to be strategic with the keywords that we use. We don't want to go against those powerhouses sometimes unless we have a budget to support it. But on the other end, if we can build a campaign that complements the Google algorithm, then we can still be competitive against major business.
Yeah, great insights from everyone. We had a few questions around one particular theme that came up during today's webinar, and I'm just going to kind of jumble that together. There was a lot of conversation around what is useful information, and I'm curious if Steve, if you can just kind of expand on that a little bit further.
Sure. So I personally have the creative approach to things. I feel like what is useful, what is something that I'm going to see and I'm going to respond to, is going to affect me in a few different ways. It's either going to wow me or make me connect emotionally, or something that I really need in that moment. And any one of those few things right there can help me to reach my consumer in that moment. I think that the way that we communicate and being different, standing out, not just the monotonous call today. We are a locksmith company. Yes, there's a time and a place for that, but what sets you apart from every other locksmith? Why do I want to consider you? You have to offer me something that isn't going to be the same as the flood. So, and that's what I think of when I think of useful is how do you stand out and provide me something that I really need?
Absolutely. And just to add to that, Steve, I mean, I 100% agree, and to add to that, as far as some other useful content would be frequently asked questions, right? So in cutting down on the friction that our consumers are getting from point A to point B, if they have a place on your website where they can go and the frequently asked questions are already answered for them, they don't have to pick up the phone and call and find out, how long does that procedure take? How long does it normally take to get my service set up, right? If there's a place where they can find that, or maybe it's a video on the site or a video on the YouTube platform that can kind of show them an overview of what the remodel will look like, right? Or how the remodel process goes. Those are going to be some useful contents that help cut down on that friction and provide the potential new clients with exactly what they need when they need it.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Good insight, Danielle. Danielle, next question goes to you, and that is, what would you say is the biggest roadblock to being successful in advertising your business today?
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. What is the biggest roadblock? I mean, I guess when bringing it back to AdWords and what we're talking about today, the biggest roadblocks that I've seen with being successful is that, the thing I've heard most commonly is that, hey, I've tried it before and it didn't work, right? Or I set it up and I didn't get the results I wanted. the cost was too high, I didn't reach the right audience. I think those are a couple of the biggest concerns I've gotten. And, you know, those are, in my opinion, being experienced and knowing, you know, a professional and running AdWords is the fact is this, is that running, it's a full-time job. If you're a business owner, you don't also have the time to put in what's required to effectively put out a campaign. You know, and so that's going to be a big problem. There is a lot of businesses, they throw a bunch of money into it, they set it up and they forget it. Either that or, you know, they partner up with somebody who does the same thing. Set it up, forget it, never touch it, never go back to it. You know, they're not consistently doing what needs to be done to have it yield the most results for the client. You know, for example, they're not in there on a regular basis performing different optimizations, making sure that we're going through the search terms report and eliminating anything that's generating us the wrong traffic and focusing on what's going to bring us the best results. You know, that's a full-time job. AdWords, it's a living, breathing platform that's changing and constantly evolving. You know, and if you're not putting in the right time and effort that's required to really maintain it effectively, you're going to run into those roadblocks. You're going to fall into those problems of, I spent a bunch of money here and I didn't get what I want from it. You know, and I guess that's what I really want to drive home here is the fact that, you know, if you're doing it right, and if you're putting it, and if you're working with somebody like us at Digital Radar who's putting in the time and the effort to do the keyword research, the optimizations, and constantly offering new products and services like click-to-message ads, extensions, you know, different location extensions, review extensions, everything that falls under that funnel. If you're not doing that, you're going to run into those roadblocks and find it not as effective as you want it to be.
Good insight, Danielle. Thanks. This next question came in. There was actually a couple of the same question regarding this particular topic, and I know that on the Digital Radar side, we all have some passionate perspectives regarding this, but the question really is regarding Google's rebranding of its advertising platforms. You know, how do we feel about it? Good, better? Is it good? Is it better than what it was? Is it harder, more complex, confusing, etc.? So,
I'll go ahead and take some of that.
Sure.
So I mean, Google has a tendency to try to simplify everything. And this new rebranding of Google Ads is just that. It for advertisers, I think we're the ones who tend to be a little bristly about that kind of change. The platform itself isn't changing too much. AdWords is still AdWords. It's just going to be called Google Ads from now on. I think there's going to be a new campaign type that's going to be targeted towards small businesses using like a machine learning type thing. I think, and it's not been created yet, but I anticipate it's going to be something similar to AdWords Express. As far as whether it's going to be easier, more confusing, I think that as far as reaching people on search and display and whatever the platform happens to be via Google, the mean stays the same. The brand AdWords has never really been something that consumers even know about. You know, I don't know how many times I've talked to somebody who has no clue what SEM or PPC is, and I bring up AdWords and they're like, what is AdWords? Because, you know, people don't really know unless you're a small business or you're an advertiser. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I don't think it's going to impact businesses. It's just one of those changes that, you know, we just kind of have to deal with because Google makes the rules.
Great insight and perspective, Steve. I think it'll be definitely interesting to see how it plays out over time for sure. And I really wanted to say thanks everyone for submitting all the questions. I really wanted to encourage you to visit our website, digitalradar.agency. Feel free to reach out to us there. We have an on-site chat, and we really look forward to engaging with you in further conversation there. Again, thanks for joining today's webinar, and that's a wrap.